Welcome to the My Life Counts podcast, where we talk about anything dealing with mental health. My name is Jared Jones. I'm your mental health coach. And today we're going to talk a little bit about forgiveness. I think forgiveness is an extremely important topic. And I've seen a lot of people talk about it in many different ways, and it's kind of all over the place. And so many people are confused about what forgiveness is, what it is not. And so I want to talk about forgiveness. All right. I want to kind of make it plain, make it clear so we can understand what forgiveness is. OK, because I've heard people say, forgive and forget. If you bring up the situation, then you haven't truly forgiven the person. So let's talk about what forgiveness is. So number one, or just to define forgiveness, right? Forgiveness is you holding resentment towards a person. OK, now, what a lot of people have done and has gotten right is that the reality is forgiveness is more about you. It's not about the person. Okay. It frees you. It doesn't free the person from their obligations, liabilities, whatever. It frees you from that, from holding on to that resentment, because at the end of the day, holding on to that resentment is bad for you. Okay. So this is about you. It's more about you than it is about that person. So understand that. All right. Also understand that forgiveness is a journey. Okay. So it's not something that is, it's probably, let me say that, because some people may be able to do it quicker than others. Right. But it's and it really just depends on how deep the wound is and things like that. But forgiveness for most of us is a journey. Okay. It's not going to be an overnight process for the most of us. It's a journey. And so I want you to be prepared for that. Now, what isn't it? Well, it's not you forgetting about the situation. Okay, so get that out of your head. Stop thinking that I have to forget about whatever happened in order for me to forgive this person. Stop thinking that, I can't never bring this up in order for me to forgive the person. This is not true. Okay. True forgiveness is about you letting go of the resentment towards the person. Okay. You letting go of resentment towards the person. Now, so let's talk about how you do that. All right. Now, I broke it down into 3 steps. Okay. Now, of course, am I simplifying it? Yes. Can it be simplified? Yes. Can it be more complicated? Well, we can complicate anything. We make a lot of things complicated. So take these steps for what they're worth. All right. Now, here's the first step. The first step is you have to have a premise. I'm a firm believer that, and I teach on this in my belief systems. You can go to the nylc-mentalhealthcoach.com and check us out and see some of our trainings and things like that. But I'm a firm believer when it comes to anything that you gotta build, you gotta start with a foundation, right? We know this, like when we're dealing with a house or whatnot, you have to have a nice firm foundation. Otherwise, the whole structure will come crumbling down, right? So you got to have a foundation. So what do I mean by that when it comes to forgiveness? Well, I went through this process myself. Now, my foundation is that everybody's good. Okay. And I know there's a lot of people who saying, whoa, what? Hear me out. Okay. Everybody at their core is good. There's not a human being that was born into this world bad. That's what I believe. That's my core belief. Now, is it that people don't do bad things? No, that's not what I'm saying. People have done bad things. Okay. People continue to do bad things. But I had to be able to separate the person from the things that they do. Okay. And so it started with a foundation. And the foundation was that this person is good. All people are good. All right. That's my premise. That's my foundation. Now, you may disagree with that. And you may say, okay, but I can agree that, maybe family sticks together. Maybe that's your foundation. Maybe it's like, okay, parents take care of their kids. Maybe that's the foundation, but you're struggling with forgiving your parents. So you got to have some kind of foundation. And I know the foundation is going to go contrary to what you believe about that person right now. But you got to have some kind of foundation that you believe that you can stand on. For me, it's that all people are good. All right. So once I created that foundation, now I can go to the next step. And the next step is that, well, if all people are good, then why do people do bad things? Well, it's because hurt people hurt people. Hurt people hurt people. And I've heard this. I've heard that phrase so many times. I can't tell you who started it. I don't know, but it's a great quote. Hurt people hurt people, and that's a reality. And so when I'm starting with my premise, number one, my foundation that all people are good, and I go to number two, hurt people, then I have to come up, then automatically it comes up with then this person that did this to me must have been hurt. Right. Because hurt people. Yeah. Now, does that free me of the situation? Of course not. No. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say you're in a restaurant. Let's say you're in a restaurant and you're just sitting there, and unbeknownst to you, hot coffee gets thrown on you. Boom. How are you feeling right now? You mad? You upset? You're surprised. You didn't expect it, right? You got a whole range of feelings going on, and now you're turning towards the person, right? You're like, yo, who threw this coffee on me? Hey, they about to get it. Okay. All these range of emotions are coming up, and you're like, all right, I got to turn towards this person. Now you turn towards the person and you realize the person is handicapped and blind. How you feeling now? Oh, the situation has changed now. Now it's like, all right, they're apologetic. Let's say they're apologetic. Or let's say they don't even realize what happened. They don't even know what happened. How do you feel? Exactly. You're going to cut them a little slack. You're going to give them a little grace. Because now you understand that in their condition, they didn't mean it. Right? And this is what I mean when I say hurt people hurt people. People are going through situations and things are happening and they're doing stuff. And I'm not saying that, look, you still got hot coffee burned. You still got hot coffee on you. You still got to burn. That burn is probably going to be with you for the rest of your life. You're always going to know that hot coffee was spilled on you. But how are you going to feel towards that person? Well, you're not going to hold resentment towards that person when you look back and you see that this person is handicapped and they're blind. You're going to give them some grace. It's going to be easy for you to forgive them because you can see their hurt. You can see their pain, so to speak. And so the same thing is true with this person who you're struggling with forgiveness with. You see their hurt. You see their pain. You see that they are hurt because they're hurting people. Hurt people. Hurt people. And once you do that, it's the third step. Well, how do you feel when you look at that person who's handicapped and blind and they just spilled the coffee on you? It almost turns around and you start to feel sorry for them. You start to feel bad for the condition that they are in. And when you do that, now you're not holding on to any resentment. You don't have to forgive them. You've already forgiven them. because you see that hurt people. And now I feel sorry for you. Now, it changes your whole perspective on how you look at that person. Now, it does not change the fact that coffee was spilt on you. And I think this is where we get forgiveness mixed up, because we start to think that, oh, well, if I forgive the person, then everything's going to be hunky-dory. Everything's going to be straight. Nah. You still got a burn mark from that coffee. That coffee hat. But what you don't have is the resentment towards the person. Now you can deal with the coffee. Now you can deal with the burn. Now you can deal with the situation that that person left you with, that you wasn't forgiving them for to begin with. I had to learn this the hard way, because the person who I was holding resentment towards was dead. And a lot of times we're waiting for the person to come to us and do something and say, oh, I'm sorry for, or this, that, and the third. That don't always happen. And so I had to think about, okay, am I going to hold this resentment for the rest of my life? This person dead and gone. How are they going to come back and ask for forgiveness? How are they going to come back and address what they did? How's this person going to ask for forgiveness for dropping coffee on me and they don't even realize they spilt it? They're not. And in a lot of situations, that's what we're facing. These people, they're not going to come back and ask for forgiveness. Okay. So you stuck? Well, that's where a lot of us are. We're stuck because we're waiting on them. I just gave you a process. 3-step process. Create your foundation. Create your foundation that you can build on. Understand that hurt people. And then when you look at this hurt person, start to feel sorry for their situation, for their circumstance. Now, it does not mean that you forget the situation. We're talking about forgiveness. We're talking about freeing you. We're not talking about forgetting what happened. We're talking about freeing you of the resentment. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that helps to free somebody. So look, this is the My Life Count podcast. I'm Jared Jones. I'm your mental health coach. And check us out at nylc-mentalhealthcoach.com. You can also check out our podcast. We drop a podcast every Monday and every Thursday. I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Peace.